Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to Christmas in Arkham, where we're playing through Eldritch Horror, Arkham Horror 2nd Edition, and Elder Sign in sequence. We're still in the middle of our playthrough of Arkham Horror 2nd Edition, where we're taking on Ithaqua during the Christmas in Arkham campaign. At the end of Part 1, we had 3 gates, we had 3 seals on the board. A gate had just spawned at the woods, and it's still very much anybody's game. So let's get right into it, and we'll go into the Upkeep Phase. Jenny's packs and her motorcycle refresh. She also gets $1 for her trust fund. And if I want to get her up to the Curiosity Shop, which is where we're going to go Elder Sign hunting, she needs a movement of 1, 2, 3, 4. Which means I can adjust this slider, the speed and sneak, down to 2 and 2. With the motorcycle, she'll have enough speed to get up there. That will do it for Jenny. Now let's move over to Lily. So we're going to be a little bit busy on Lily's upkeep phase. She's going to spend a sanity to keep her Azure Flame. Then she's going to take a Soul Pact, which will heal her to full. Then she's actually, here's what we're going to do with that. So first we're going to adjust her focus. Use her 1 of her focus to get her maximum sanity up to 7 and 4. This is after paying for the sanity. So she's going to get a Soul Pact to go up to full, and then she's going to drain it for 4 sanity to gain 4 power. I want to make sure she's got rerolls, because that relay gate's going to be a tough one to close. Oh boy. Well, wait a minute. That's actually a dumb idea. I'm actually going to leave that as is. Because at -3, she's going to need a lot of rerolls. So, yeah, I think I messed this up. I should have moved this up. We'll pretend that I did on her last turn. I'll move that up there to 5 and 1. So the Soul Pact, which means she only gets 3 power. So that gives her a lot of rerolls. That gives her a die on trying to close that relay gate. But yeah, we're going to need a lot of rerolls on that thing. I am sure of that. Anyway, that will do it for Lily. Now let's move over to Monty. Assuming Lily's efforts to close the gate at the Unnameable again and seal it don't go completely bonkers, we're going to be up to 4 seals, and we're going to need 2 more to close the game out, or 1 more gate if we can get it off the board. So I think we're going to send Monty up to help Jenny go through the unique items deck and start finding our Elder Signs. I think that'll be our best bet here. That will do it to do that, Monty needs a movement of only 3, so I can move the speed and sneak down to 3, 1. I'll move his fight down to 3 and 2, just in case I find a good weapon that I want to give him. Although I can pass a weapon over from Jenny, most likely. But anyway, that will do it for Monty. Now let's move over to Diana. Diana is actually going to go visit her friends at the Silver Twilight Lodge. So to do that, she's going to need a movement of 3. So we'll adjust her speed sneak up to 3, 1. And I think I'll leave her other sliders. We'll pull her lore luck down to 5, 2, which is effectively 3 because of her skill. That will do it for Diana. That will do it for the upkeep phase. Now let's move over to the movement phase, and we'll get started with Jenny. After exhausting the motorcycle to give her the extra 2 movement points she needs, Jenny will move 1 to Rivertown, 2 to the Merchant District streets, eluding the Serpent People, 3 to the Northside streets, and 4 to the Curiosity Shop. That will do it for Jenny. We've got Lily over here in the second half of Relay. I'll zoom out just a little bit so we can catch her in shot. Her movement phase will take her back to the Unnameable, and we'll give her the Explored marker. That will do it for Lily. I think we've got Monty in shot as well, if I do a slight adjustment of the camera. He'll move 1 to downtown streets, 2 to north side streets, and 3 to the Curiosity Shop, joining Jenny, where Jenny will actually go ahead and give him the crowbar. So I'll move that over to Monty to give him another weapon. That will do it for Monty. Now let's move over to Diana. Here's Diana. She'll move 1 to Rivertown Streets, 2 to French Hill Streets, and 3 to the Silver Twilight Lodge. That will do it for Diana. That will do it for the movement phase. Now let's go into the Arkham Encounter phase, and we'll go start with Jenny. I'm bringing the Dice Tower in shot for Lily's encounter, who will actually be second in this sequence. But Jenny's going to start off at the Curiosity Shop. And I think this is the part where we get the chant going. Elder Sign. Elder Sign. Yes, I know I'm horrible at it, but anyway. We've got 3 cards from the unique item deck here. First up we find Gladius of Carcosa. Magical weapon. +4 to combat checks, +5 instead if your other hand is empty. I'm not really looking for weapons right now, but I will not say no to that. That thing is amazing. Next up we find Puzzle Box. Exhaust movement phase. Exhaust and spend 1 movement point to make a luck -1 check. If you pass, gain 1 clue token and lose 1 sanity. If you fail, lose 1 sanity. Card 3. Milk of Shub-Niggurath. Movement, discard Milk of Shub-Niggurath to move all non-spawn monsters in play to your current location. Then reduce your sanity to 0 and go insane. I think she's going to take $1 from Monty and grab the Gladius of Carcosa. So that will clean her out, but it'll get us another amazing weapon. More importantly, it'll get us 3 cards deeper into the unique item deck. That's what I was more concerned with. So we'll equip that over the Athame, which I can probably pass over on either Jenny or Monty's next turn. That will do it for Jenny. Lily is going to try to close Relay. That's a -3, effectively a -4 from the Lurker, +1 from Yuggoth and Retrograde, so it's back to a -3 gate, which means Lily gets 2 dice. I still have a bunch of rerolls because I'm probably going to need them. Or if I don't, I end up with my 4th seal on the board. I end up with my 4th seal on the board naturally, which is very welcome. So Relay comes off the board. That turns into a gate trophy for Lily. 3, 4, 5 clues. Clues, aka power. Or power, aka clues, I should say. For our 4th seal, as we reseal the Unnameable. Thanks to that gate burst earlier in the game. And then that will do it for Lily. Monty is also going shopping. So first item up we have Crystal of the Elder Things. Any phase, place 1 sanity token from the bank on Crystal of the Elder Things to avoid paying the entire sanity cost of a spell you're casting. Then, if there are 3 sanity tokens on it, discard Crystal. Next up, Brazier of Souls. I never know how to spell that. Magical weapon. Exhaust. Any phase. Exhaust before making a combat check to gain +8 to that check. Wow. Upkeep. Brazier of the Soul only refreshes if you spend all of your focus to do so. That's a $7 weapon, though. And Petrifying Solution. Physical weapon. +8 to combat checks, discard after use. This weapon ignores the physical resistance and endless special abilities. The only thing I can afford to buy right now is the Crystal of the Elder Things. And not surprisingly, it's kind of actually the one I want the least right now. But I'm willing to house rule that if two investigators are together, they can pool their money to pick something up. I'm not willing to house rule alone like that, other than at the Bank of Arkham. So we'll grab that. We can probably move that over to somebody else who might need it more. But anyway, that will do it for Monty, Jenny, and Lily. Now let's go over to Diana. Here's Diana at the Silver Twilight Lodge. Thanks to her special ability, she'll be having an Inner Sanctum encounter, but I can draw one of them. Or thanks to her Silver Twilight Lodge, she gets to have an Inner Sanctum encounter. Thanks to her personal story pass, I get to pick one. I get to draw two and pick one. So we'll just take the top two. I'll take a look at them. All right. Those are our two that we'll get to choose from. All right. So Inner Sanctum. Remember, first up we have that could be interesting. Actually, that would clear a lot of the mess off the board right now. Or I'm reading them both, but I'll go through the actual one I choose, depending on which one I go with. I think I will actually go with the first one I looked at. So I could have either spent two more clues than it would normally have cost to spend or to seal a location, which I can't do right now, or we'll do this one. The Lodge has decided to clean up the town. Choose one dimension symbol other than the moon, which that would have cleaned up a lot of the mess, but of course that would have made my life too easy. And return all non-spawn monsters in Arkham with that symbol to the Monster Cup. So we're actually going to choose the hexagon, which will get rid of the Dark Druid. It's better than nothing, though, so I do take solace in that. But anyway, that will do it for the Arkham Encounter Phase. Nobody's in an other world to have an Encounter Phase right now, so we'll move back up top for the Mythos Phase. We're back up top for the Mythos Phase, so let's see what we get from the deck. Okay, Lodge members watch the night, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So we have a gate at the Unvisited Isle, which means I need the gate stands and that. Alright, so gate bag. Oh boy, Lurker Gate this time we have Split Gate of Yuggoth and Another Dimension. Oh joy. Clue gets swallowed up. It will be moving to the Science Building. But we need a monster to go with it. I will also get the Doom Token for Ithaqua and the Reckoning. Oh dear. We find the color out of space. +1 to try to sneak past. Square monster. Physical and magical immunity. That's problematic. Instead of moving, roll a die. On a 4 to 6, all investigators in Arkham lose 1 sanity. -3 on the horror check or lose 4 sanity. +0 on the combat check or lose 1 health. 2 toughness to kill. Yeah, that thing is bad news. So we probably have to sneak past that if we're going to get past it. Alright, I moved the clue already. And right on cue. Circle moves on diamond, circle moves on white, square and diamond move on black. So instead of moving, we roll a die, and everybody in Arkham loses 1 sanity on a 4 to a 6. So I'm going to roll a blessed die for that, but this is one time where I don't want to see a blessed success. That's a 1, and I'm very happy with that. All right. And lodge members watch the night. All monsters in the French Hill streets or locations are returned to the cup. Which wasn't really helpful to us, but at least the lodge can say they did something, I guess? But anyway, that will do it for the Mythos phase. We now have 2 more gates on the board, so we could try to close the game out here, but it's going to be a very challenging thing to do. We'll have to think about how we want to do that, but I think right now the order is probably going to end up being healing before we go too much further into that fire. But anyway, that will do it for the Mythos phase. Now we're into a new Upkeep phase, and Lily will be our first player. Lily's Soul Pact will refresh. She'll spend another sanity to keep the Azure Flame again. Oh, I did forget at the end of the Mythos phase that we lost another ally. So let me take care of that real quick. So this time we're losing Granny Orn. So she'll go into the returned portion. Then we've already spent the 1 sanity to keep Lily's Azure Flame. The name of the game, I think, this turn is going to be healing. So Lily's got a speed of 3, which will be enough to get her up to Arkham Asylum and refresh her sanity. So we'll plan on doing that this round. Right, 1, 2, 3. Once again, slipping past Serpent People. Anyway, that will do it for Lily. Let's move down to Monty. Monty is also going to give the Serpent People the slip. He's going to get the motorcycle, as Jenny would be refreshing it during her upkeep anyway. I'll wait until the movement phase to give it to him. But he's going to move down and heal his health. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, he can get all the way to St. Mary's Hospital where he needs to be for that. So that'll be the plan for him this round. That'll do it for Monty. Let's move over to Diana. Diana's going to go grab the 2 clues at the science building. To do that, she'll need a speed of 3, which she has. So otherwise, I think we're just going to leave this all as is. Anyway, that will do it for Diana. Now let's move over to Jenny. Once again, Jenny is not the lead investigator, is not the first player this round. She gets $1 as well from her trust fund. Motorcycle will refresh. She's also going to go up to Arkham Asylum, but she's only going to be able to heal 1 sanity. What is this world coming to? But anyway, that will do it for Jenny. She's got enough. She needs one more speed to get there, so she'll have to move that focus, her speed sneak, up to 3-1. Anyway, that will do it for Jenny. Now let's get into the movement phase, and we'll start with Lily. We have Lily, Monty, and Jenny in shot here. Understand that Diana should be going third. But as long as they're up here, I'm going to do these three first. So Lily's going to move 1 to the Merchant District, giving the slip to the Serpent People again, 2 to the downtown streets, and 3 to Arkham Asylum. Then Monty is going to move 1 to Northside streets, 2 to downtown streets, 3 to Arkham Asylum. Jenny is going to follow Monty right along that path. That will do it for Monty. Now let's drop. That will do it for those three. Now let's drop down to Diana. Actually, no. Monty is going a different direction. Pretend you didn't see anything with Monty moving, because I forgot I had a different destination in mind for him, which I've got in shot. I've also got Diana with her destination in shot. So Monty was actually going to take the motorcycle from Jenny. So in the proper sequence of this is Lily goes first, moving up to Arkham Asylum. Then Monty goes second. He takes the motorcycle from Jenny. Then he's going to exhaust it to get the other movement points he needs. So he'll move 1 to Northside streets, 2 to Merchant District streets, giving the slip to the Serpent People, 3 to Miskatonic University streets, 4 to Uptown streets, and 5 up to St. Mary's Hospital. Then Diana, who's actually going third and we have in shot, will move 1 to French Hill streets, 2 to Miskatonic University streets, and then 3 to the Science Building, gobbling up these 2 clues. Which that will do it for Diana. Now we'll move over to Jenny. And now Jenny would move up from the Curiosity Shop to Arkham Asylum. Anyway, that will do it for Jenny. That will do it for the movement phase. Now we're into the Arkham Encounter phase. Let's move over to Lily first. Okay, Lily's going to heal to full sanity for $2. I've got Lily and Jenny in shot, so I'm going to do them right here. Lily's going first. Pretend that Jenny's going last. Not that anything's going to change from the encounter phase. So Lily goes up to full sanity. Jenny gains 1 back for free because I can only pay. So there's a total of 5 sanity. 4 is going to. 4 of it's going to Lily, 1's going to Jenny. Anyway, that will do it for Lily and Jenny. Again, pretend Jenny went last. Let's move over to Monty. I've got both Monty and Diana in shot here. So Monty's going to spend $2 to heal his stamina to full. Oop, I put that in the wrong part of the tray. So there's Monty going to. Come on. Full stamina. Actually, full strength, as it were. And then Diana's going to spend a gate trophy, because that's the encounter on her location, Science Building, Dissection. Instead of having an encounter here, you may spend 5 toughness worth of monster trophies or 1 gate trophy to gain 2 clue tokens. So by spending the gate trophy, that actually will bring Diana up to 5 clue tokens, which means we can send her in another gate. And then after Diana went in the Arkham Encounter phase, Jenny would have gone and healed her stamina for free. That will do it for the Arkham Encounter phase. Nobody's in another world, so now we'll move back up top for the Mythos phase. We're back up top for the Mythos phase. Let's hope we don't get anything too dangerous here. So we find a monster surge originating from the woods. Okay, so yeah. Go ahead and get 4 monsters. 2 of these are going to the outskirts. So we'll put 1 in the woods. So the first one will go to the woods. A Dark Young, ooh. -2 to try to sneak past. It's a hexagon monster. Physical resistance, Nightmarish 1. The trees trembled, leaves fluttering around us. The earth shook as the thuds of giant hooved feet grew ever closer. +0 on the horror check or lose 3 sanity. -1 on the combat check or lose 3 health. 3 toughness to kill it, and it's got Nightmarish 1. So that means even if you pass the horror check, you still take 1 sanity of damage. Oh, wonderful. Just what I wanted to see. Something powerful at the woods. Something powerful and hard to sneak past. And then for the split gate at the Unvisited Isle, we get a Servitor of the Outer Gods, +0 square monster. It's a flying monster, it looks like. Oh boy. Nightmarish 2, Overwhelming 1, Endless, so you can't claim this as a monster trophy. If you fail a combat or evade check against Servitor of the Outer Gods, you're devoured. -3 on the sanity or lose 4 sanity. -2 on the combat check. You need 3 toughness to kill it. So if you don't kill it in 1 shot, you're devoured. Oh, wonderful. Just what I wanted to see. Fortunately, it's a flying monster. Well, that's fortunate, but I'll tell you why in a second. And then we have 2 more monsters going to the outskirts. I won't go through these, because these are essentially not going to be part of the main part of the game right now. We'll just draw 2 monsters out at random. I wouldn't have minded seeing both of these go to the outskirts. We get a Maniac and a Loigor, which the Loigor I'm also not sad about seeing go to the outskirts. Then clue appears at the Historical Society. So we have 3 clues there. Then we have square and diamond moving on white, circle on black. So the square monster, being a flying monster, it moves out to the streets, sees nobody there, and moves out to the sky. That's why I'm okay with that moving that way. But we have the color out of space, which we roll a die on a 4 to 6. All investigators in Arkham lose a sanity, which right now is everyone. So yeah, once again, I do not want to see a blessed success here. So, of course, I get a success, which means everybody in Arkham loses 1 sanity. Right. That's problematic. Alright. And we have a new Environment Urban card. Happy days are here again. Due to the renewed prosperity that has come to Arkham, the terror level cannot increase. So that estate sale goes away. And that's our new 8. We did have to shut... Well, actually, we've been through a lot more than that. But we also are losing another ally. Alright, so the ally that we lose this time is Richard Upton Pickman. He would have been a fabulous one to have, but anyway, alas, he is not available to us anymore. So that will do it for... Oop, come on. That will do it for the Mythos phase. Now the question becomes, do we try to close this game out? Because that is physically resistant. Monty is our first player. So... that might be worth a thought. Actually, I wonder if... 1, 2, 3... I'm having a think here how I want to do this. But the big problem I have is I'm trying to figure out how I want to distribute people to gates. I'm looking at my stat lines here, and I don't like a lot of the options I have right now. A -2 gate is, well, -2 gate wouldn't be terrible right now. I'm worried about this Mystic Environment card going away on me, but I'll have to have a think about that off camera. Anyway, when we come back, our first player will be Monty, and we'll be back into the Upkeep phase. I'm still on thinking break time, but we should have had our 6th Doom on Ithaqua and the Reckoning for the split gate that just opened up. Actually, for the Abyss that just opened up. That might impact my thought process anyway. Let's see if this changes anything. Get that cut, and that's our Reckoning. We find... merely a vessel. Each investigator with 1 or more power tokens in Arkham is delayed. Each investigator with 1 or more power tokens in another world is lost in time and space. Well, that kind of changes things. So, power tokens in Arkham is, right now, Monty and Jenny. So, Monty's delayed, and Jenny is delayed. Which means our only 2 active investigators are going to be Lily and Diana this round. So, does that change anything, though? Physical resistance on the Dark Young. It actually kind of does, to tell you the truth. I think what we'll have to do... I think we'll have to... well, we'll give that some thought, but we can... I'll think about it as we go through the Upkeep phase. Anyway, Monty is still our first player, so let's go into the Upkeep phase. Monty being delayed is actually kind of annoying, but there's no help for it right now. So we'll refresh the motorcycle. All he'll be doing is standing up this round. But so planning for next round, if I can't get into the Abyss this round, and I'm far from sure I can, well, we might be able to actually, since Diana actually has... well, I'll talk more about that when I come to Diana on the Upkeep phase. But with that, since Monty is just standing up, let's move over to Diana. I think Diana can get into the... Abyss, into the woods, the Abyss gates at the woods this turn. But it's going to cost her probably most of her sanity. So she's got a speed of 3, which she'll need to get from the science building to the woods, so she can get there. That will do it for Diana. Now let's move over to Jenny. Jenny gets $1 from her trust fund, and her being delayed in Arkham Asylum I don't mind, because it'll let me heal another sanity from her. So that's a very simple turn there. That will do it for Jenny. Now let's move over to Lily. I think now I am going to have Lily refresh Call the Azure Flame. So we'll discard her Azure Flame, which has been very handy. The reason I'm doing this, though, is because I'm going to try to send her into the Unvisited Isle, and I'm going to need her hands empty when I try to take on the color out of space. So let me look at it's a -3 check, or you lose 4 stamina, or 4 sanity. 2 toughness to kill it, so I'm going to put her will down. Well, actually, now a question is, do I give on the will check to... do I give on the will check to give myself the best chance to kill it? Because I don't think I'm passing a minus... Because even if I drop it down to drop her fight and will down to 3 and 3, I still don't get any dice unless I spend a clue into it. Which I might have to, but that'll be a thought as well. I think we just give on... I think we give on the will check to give myself the best chance possible to kill the color out of space. So I'm going to leave her fight and will at 5 and 1. That will do it for Lily. That will do it for the upkeep phase. Now let's get into the movement phase, and we'll start with Monty. Blink and you miss it in reference to Monty's Monty's movement phase. Anyway, now we'll move over to Diana, who's going to have a little bit more of an eventful phase. So she'll move 1 to Miskatonic University streets, 2 to Uptown streets, and 3 to the woods, where she'll encounter the Dark Young, and she's going to try to sneak past it. But in order to give her a hand with that, we need the Dice Tower in shot, because she's going to cast an Exhaust Shroud of Shadow, and then discard 2 sanity. Mainly because I can also take a soul... If this works, when she comes out of the gate in 2 turns, I can take a Soul Pact. Give myself a chance at it. So, cast Exhaust... So 4 dice for the cast. If this works, I get +4 to the... Or the +4 to the sneak check to try to get past this. Okay, so we definitely passed that, which means we get +4 to the sneak check, so we're at 5. -2 is 3. And I've got clues to spend if I need them, and I might. I might even end up taking a Soul Pact earlier than I was planning to, but that's getting ahead of myself. Okay, so we sneak past the Dark Young, so part 1 there is all good to go. Which means Diana can get into the Abyss this round. That will do it for Jenny, or not for Jenny, for Diana. Now let's move over to Jenny. We have both Jenny and Lily in shot, so Jenny's movement will consist solely of standing up. Then Lily will go 1 to Downtown Streets, 2 to the Merchant District, and 3 to the Unvisited Isle. First, just for giggles, I'm going to try to make a sneak check on this. So we have 2 + 1 is 3. If I can sneak past this, all the better. But I'm not sure how much longer I want to let that thing linger in Arkham. So the backup plan is preparing to kill it, ultimately. A backup plan which we don't need just yet. So Lily will also sneak past the color out of space, which means she can get into her gate this round as well. That will do it for Lily. That will do it for the movement phase. Now we're into the Arkham Encounter phase, and we'll go start off with Monty. It's not often I get to have a location encounter at St. Mary's Hospital, because usually I'm going there when I need to heal. But right now, we do get to have a location encounter there. So we've got the red deck for that, which I'm starting to shuffle already. And to cut. And this will be our encounter at St. Mary's Hospital. All right. An old man who looks to be near death gestures you toward his bedside. If you approach, he tries to hand you something as his last breath gurgles out. Since I'm not using the exhibit items, I'm actually going to pull a different card. Right. An orderly quickly closes the door to the morgue, but not before you catch a glimpse of what's inside. Make a speed -1 check and gain 1 clue per success. Okay, so we have... Our speed is 3 minus 1 is 2. Monty gets exactly no clue tokens. That was unfortunate. And then we're over here with Diana as well. Her Arkham encounter phase will be very short as she goes to the Abyss. That will do it for Diana. Let's go up and see what Lily and Jenny are doing. Both of their Arkham encounters will be simple. Jenny will spend $2 and go up to full sanity, which is also known as full strength in this case. So there's that. Jenny goes up to full strength. And then Lily's Arkham encounter phase is also similarly simple. She will be moving to another dimension, partly for ease of encounters, partly for convenience of shot, because I now can get both Diana and Lily in one shot, which we'll be headed to do in the Otherworld encounter phase. Diana has to have a red or a blue for her encounter at the Abyss. Red and the Abyss. Uh-oh. Pass a speed -1 check to avoid a monstrous mass. If you fail, you're lost in time and space. I'm pretty sure I have Diana's speed maxed out at 3 and I have clues for days. Because being lost in time and space right now would be catastrophic. Which we don't have to worry about because Diana got a 5 in there. So that's fortunate for Diana. Lily, I'll move that out of the way so we see that Lily can have any color. So first one off the top. And it doesn't have... Okay, we go to other. You push yourself to the limit. Roll 1 die for each point of stamina you have. Lose 1 stamina for each die that does not roll a success. If you don't fall unconscious, gain 1 clue token for each die that rolled a success. Repeat after me. Lost in time and space right now would be catastrophic. Well, not completely catastrophic, but we'd definitely be in peril. Really, Lily? So she loses all of her stamina right now. And then she goes to Lost in Time and Space. Not what I wanted to have happen, Lily. Anyway, that will do it for the Otherworld encounter phase. Now we'll move back up top for the Mythos phase. Mythos card yields... I'll get Lily up to full stamina in a second. We have a gate that tries to spawn at the unvisited isle, except it can't because there's a seal there. Clue appears at the science building. Lily is at... Okay, let me get that stamina taken care of. Okay, we got that straight. Cross moves on white, moon moves on black. So Moon moves on black, which means Jenny is trapped. Jenny's trapped in Arkham Asylum. Anyway, the Chill of the Grave, which means we lose our Mystic card. This part hurts, because that was a good one. All undead monsters have their toughness increased by 1. So the only thing that really impacts is the zombie, because that makes it a toughness of 2 now. That's still in the downtown streets. Anyway, that will do it for the Mythos phase. Lily getting lost in time and space was nothing short of catastrophic, but once again, there's nothing we can do there. But anyway, actually there might be something we can do, but it's going to take me a little bit of time to get it in motion. Anyway, that will do it for the Mythos phase. Now we'll go into a new Upkeep phase, and Diana will be our first player. Alright, with Diana so low on sanity, and I feel like I dodged a bullet once, so I'm actually going to take a Soul Pact with Diana, which will bring her sanity back up to full. Right. 3 sanity. Okay. So now that we've got that straight, I've got both packs on her. She's going to be moving to the second half of the Abyss this turn. That will do it for Diana. Now let's move over to Jenny. Jenny gains $1 from her trust fund ability, and I may have exaggerated by her being trapped in Arkham Asylum. I think she's got enough firepower to come all the way out from that. But, right, +2 luck. I better make sure that stays close so I can make sure I remember that for any luck checks Jenny might have. You knock it off. That's the one thing I find annoying about these organizers. These cards do not want to stay up. But as much as I spent on this game, I am not unsleeving it just to accommodate the organizers. That seems extraordinarily dumb to me. But anyway, that will do it for Jenny. Now let's move over to Lily. Lily's entire movement phase is going to consist of just standing up. She'll rejoin the game on the next Upkeep phase. With that, let's move down to Monty and get into his turn in the movement phase. Okay, so here's Monty. I did adjust his speed and sneak down since I still had the foci to do that. I hadn't done anything else. I'll exhaust the motorcycle, and I'm going to need the dice tower and shot. So basically, I'm going to swap Monty with Lily. Or I'm going to swap Lily with Monty, I should say. Plus, he's got a much stronger blood pact, and I still have an option of taking a soul pact with him. So with the motorcycle, he's going to go 1 to Uptown Streets, 2 to Serpent People and Through, 3 to Merchant District, and 4 to the Unvisited Isle, where he'll try to sneak past the color out of space. 2 + 1's 3, and I've got a couple rerolls. So let me find my dice cup, which is right over here. I will spend a clue for... I'll spend the power for a reroll first. I'm probably going to end up getting that back on next turn anyway, but... Spend the clue. Just looking at something on the Herald. And we get there. So we do sneak past the color out of space, but it costs us a clue and a power, aka 2 clues. So Monty will be able to get into... We'll be able to take Lily's place next turn. But we're done with Monty for now. Now let's move down to Diana. When it comes to Diana's movement phase, say it with me, kids. Blink, and you miss it. So Diana just moves over to the second half of the Abyss. That will do it for Diana. I'll zoom out here, since we can get... Again, we'll do this a little bit out of order since we're right here. Lily will just stand up. She would be going last, technically, during this phase, but nothing Jenny does is going to impact Lily. So... again, Lily would just stand up. That would be last. Nothing's going to impact Jenny, so I'm just going to do it while I'm right here. That will do it for Lily. Speaking of Jenny, let's go pay her a visit. Jenny's going on the warpath this time. She's going to move down to the downtown streets, and she's going to start doing some fighting. So we're going to start off with the cultist, which doesn't have a horror check, and she's +1 on the combat check. So +4, +8, 1 is 9, +1 from the cultist bonus is 10, but we need 3 successes. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We get 4 successes actually, so the cultist is defeated. It's a monster toughness of 3 trophies this game. Again, thanks to Ithaqua's modifier. Then we go to the zombie. Will is -1, or we lose a sanity. So we are at 5 minus 1 is 4. 3, 4. We will eat the fail on that because I'd rather use the rerolls in trying to kill this thing. So we'll take 1 sanity. And then we will attack it again. So this time we're -1, which means we cancel out Jenny's base, so we're still at 8 dice. Oh, never mind. Alright, so 2 successes we need to kill this thing because of Till of the Grave. And we get there, just barely. But still, that's dead. Jenny's stuck in the street, which will affect her during the Mythos phase. But that's for the next. That's for the end of the round. Anyway, we're into the Arkham Encounter phase now. This will probably be one of the shortest Arkham Encounter phases in history. Let's move over. Actually, we have Monty, I think, in shot. He's hidden behind everything else, but we have him in shot, so we'll just move right in. Monty, for his Arkham Encounter phase, will go to another dimension. Same reason we sent Lily there on the split gate. That will do it for Monty's encounter phase. Nobody else has an encounter phase because Diana's in the second half of the Abyss, Jenny's in the downtown streets, and Lily's lost in time and space. So that was a very uneventful Arkham Encounter phase. The Otherworld Encounter phase, however, will be a bit more eventful for that. And for that, let's move over. Let's move down to Diana. Correction, let's move down to Monty, who's actually the first player. So, Monty's in another dimension, which means we need the top card off of the deck. We find Other. A glimmer of gold catches your eye. Gain $2. Nice. A lot better than the encounter Lily had, that's for sure. Mostly because we didn't get lost in time and space this time. Diana has to be a little bit pickier because she needs a red or a blue card, and I did forget to refresh her Shroud of Shadow, which she used to get past the Dark Young in the woods. But anyway, red or blue for Diana. Green won't do. Blue, and I think we have the Abyss here. You climb a large stone stair towards Sarcommand. Make a fight +0, 2 check. So what that means is we make the fight check, which is 2, +0, and both of these need to be successes. Which I doubt they will be, but and neither one of them is a success. If you fail, you become exhausted and must stay here next turn. That's unfortunate, but that will do it for the Otherworld Encounter phase. Now let's move back up top for the Mythos Phase. We're back up top for the Mythos Phase. I don't like the look of this card, but let's see what we've got. Alright, a gate in the... We have a gate in the Science Building, which swallows the clue. The clue actually moves to the Witch House. So we need a black gate stand and a monster. We'll have our reckoning and... We'll have our reckoning and all that fun stuff after we get this done. Regular gate takes us to the Plateau of Ling again. -1, it's a diamond gate. And then we need a monster to go with it. Oh, wait. Wrong color stand. I've been using black for gates, yellow for monsters. Monster that's guarding the Science Building is a skeleton, -2 to sneak past. I think the orange means it's aquatic. Undead physical resistance. Silently it emerged from the water and strode up to the beach towards us. Although the bleached skeleton was picked free of flesh, still it moved with malignant purpose. -1 on the horror check or lose 1 sanity. -1 on the combat or lose 2 stamina, 3 toughness to kill it. Normally it's a 2 because of the... Normally it's a toughness of 2, but it's elevated because of the Chill of the Grave. So that goes there. We'll get our 7th token on Ithaqua. And we need a Reckoning. So we're actually up to 7 right now on Ithaqua. Alright. That's our Reckoning we find. Uncertain Future. Shuffle the Reckoning deck and its discard pile together, including this card, then draw a new Reckoning card. So yeah, the way I usually do this is because every other deck wants you to do it this way, is you shuffle the card back in after you draw it. So... just because almost every other deck in the game, with the exception of the Otherworld and Mythos decks, want you to shuffle them back in. Alright, and our new Reckoning. Spread the word. Each investigator may choose to immediately gain 1 or more Dark Pacts. Then, if there is at least 1 investigator who does not have a Dark Pact, each investigator who does is cursed. Everybody has a Dark Pact now, so similar to where this card came up earlier in the game, this basically is a does-nothing Reckoning. Because we don't have to gain new Dark Pacts, and everybody already has one, so nobody's cursed. Okay. Right. We moved the clue to the Witch House already. Circle moves on white. Square and diamond move on black. I think... okay, so we have the Servitor of Outer Gods. Oh boy. Actually, I'm kind of happy to see this Mythos card. So he'll fly around the sky, fly around the streets, see Jenny stuck in the Easttown streets, and land on top of her. which is rather it's unfortunate only for another couple of seconds, but we also have the color out of space that activates. We roll a die. On a 4 to 6, Jenny will lose a sanity. Which Jenny does not, thankfully. Okay, where did I put that card? Here it is. The first player chooses a dimensional symbol. Draw new monsters to replace each monster with that dimensional symbol in Arkham. Ignore the sky, but not the outskirts. Return monsters so replaced to the cup after all new monsters have been drawn. So, I think the monster we try to replace, or the symbol we try to replace here is... I'm tempted to replace either the square or the hexagon, because the square gets us rid of the color out of space and the servitor of the outer gods. And I think that's the one we're going to replace. So we're going to replace every square monster. So we'll go ahead and replace the color out of space first, even though we've been having an easy time sneaking past that one. Actually, we'll draw both monsters. We'll draw both replacement monsters. So replacing the color out of space, we have a Maniac that I think will be much easier to deal with. We also will be replacing one of the monsters in the outskirts. So I'll just grab one more. Got that. Alright, so replacing the color out of space will be the Maniac. -1 to sneak past. If the terror level is at least 6, which it's not, so that part doesn't matter. No will check, no horror check, +1 on the combat check or you lose a stamina, and 1 toughness to kill. So that will replace the color out of space guarding the unvisited isle. Then replacing the servitor out of the outer gods, we have a dimensional shambler. -3. Being surrounded by a red border means it moves 2 spaces. I don't think we've had any of those come up this game. If you fail a combat check against Dimensional Shambler, you're lost in time and space. -2 on the horror check or lose 1 sanity. -2 on the combat check or you're lost in time and space, as I mentioned. 1 toughness to kill. A lot better than the Servitor of the Outer Gods, that's for sure. Then we got a beast going into the outskirts, but I don't mind that. Barnabas Marsh, but since he's replacing the Loigor, I won't go through that anyway. So that gets discarded, and then we lose another ally from thanks to the South Side Strangler. Say that 5 times fast. Jenny will also be losing a stamina, but I'll deal with this first. So that's the ally we're losing. We are losing Sarah Danforth. Okay, so that will do it for the Mythos phase. We're on to a new Upkeep phase, and Diana will be our first player. Diana's turn will consist of standing up in the abyss, so it's going to be another blink and you miss it movement phase. That will do it for Diana. Now let's move up to Jenny. We're back with Jenny. I did take away her stamina to reflect that she'd been trapped outside during the Mythos phase, which she's going to be trapped outside again most likely as she tries to take out this Dimensional Shambler. Anyway, that will do it for Jenny, another very uneventful phase. Now let's get over to the board because Lily is actually rejoining the game. Lily is going to rejoin the game and landing at the Historical Society and grabbing these 3 clues. So that'll put her up to 7. Now, where do we want to send Lily? Honestly, actually, you know what? Part of the reason we did that is I can actually send her to Ma's boarding house and get rid of that rumor, finally. That's been plaguing us all game. But anyway, that will do it for Lily. That will do it for our movement phase. Actually, no, that won't do it for any phase because we still have Monty in the Upkeep phase. Monty will also have a blink and you miss it movement phase, as he'll be moving into the second half of another dimension. I don't think we want to adjust his sliders. I think everything's fine as is. So that will do it for the upkeep phase. Now let's move over to the movement phase, and we'll start off with Diana. Okay, so I've got Diana and Monty in shot. We're going to have 2 out-of-order moments here, but we're going to have 2 repeat after me moments and 1 out-of-order moment. So, repeat after me, kids. Blink, and you miss them. So Diana stood up, and then Monty, who technically would be last in the movement phase, moved over to the second half of the Great Hall of Celiano, another dimension. But once again, the order won't be... He won't be impacted by anybody else on the movement phase. That will do it for Diana and Monty. Now let's move up to Jenny. I'm not going to pretend like Jenny's moving anywhere because she's not passing a sneak check trying to get past a dimensional shambler with a sneak of 1. So we are minus -2 on the on the horror check. So she's at a will of 5. -2 is 3, which we have 1 too many in there. Out. There we go. Alright, we passed that with flying colors, and now we're minus 2 on the combat check, so base of 1, plus 8 from her weapons is 9, -2 is 7. And all we need is a single success, and Jenny won't be lost in time and space. 6, 7. And it's hidden back there. I'll try to move everything out, but we do get a single success. So the Dimensional Shambler is very much defeated. Unfortunately, Jenny is still trapped outside, so she's going to be losing another stamina on the end of the Mythos phase. That will do it for Jenny. Now let's move over to Lily. Lily's movement phase will actually be a little bit involved. She'll move 1 to Southside, 2 to Ma's boarding house. That will do it for Lily. That will do it for the movement phase. Now let's go into the Arkham Encounter phase. We'll skip right over and... yeah, we'll go into the Arkham Encounter phase. We're back here with Lily because she will be the only relevant investigator for the Arkham Encounter phase. Diana's in the second half of the Abyss. Jenny's in downtown streets, so she won't have an encounter either. Lily, on the other hand, let me look at this location. I don't think I've done this very much. Instead of having an encounter here, you may spend 10 toughness worth of monster trophies, 2 gate trophies, or 5 toughness and a gate trophy to take any ally of your choice from the deck. Let me see how much toughness she has in monster trophies. I don't think she has enough, unless I spend the... the Childhood Goat was a cultist, so it would have to be 5 trophies, 5 monster trophies, and a gate trophy, which I will spend. Yep, I will go ahead and spend those to let her take an ally out of the deck. So, the ally I think she's going to take is... I think she's going to grab Ruby Standish. So we never went through these allies at the start of the game, but here's Ruby Standish. +2 sneak and draw a unique item when Ruby Standish joins you. So, Lily will draw Nameless Cults, a tome. Movement, exhaust, and spend 1 movement point to make a lore -1 check. If you pass, draw a spell, lose a sanity, and discard Nameless Cults. If you fail, nothing happens. And then since we're there during the Arkham Encounter phase, we do get to spend 5 clues. 3, 4, 5. It's probably a little late in the game to do this, but oh well. So there are 5 clues. to put the Southside Strangle, to stop the Southside Strangler. So since we pass that, return this card to the box, and each player gets $5 as a reward. So we'll pass out 5s all around. We probably don't need it right now, but can't hurt to have it. So 5 for Monty, a 5 for Jenny, a 5 for Lily, and a 5 for Diana. Alright, so that will do it for Lily. That was a very uneventful Arkham Encounter phase. Now let's hope this Otherworld Encounter phase is not a sideways one, and let's drop down to Diana. The situation here is pretty simple. If I'm able to bring both of them out this round, I'm going to try to close the game out next turn, or next round. So, Diana once again needs a red or a blue encounter. Green won't do. Blue and the Abyss. A glowing light ahead draws you toward it. Make a luck -1 check. Oh dear. I'm actually not sure I want to pass this right now, but we have a luck of 3 -1 is 2. The reason I'm not sure I want to pass this right now is because that brings me back to the Dark Young before I'm ready for it. I'd almost rather fail this and then return to Arkham on the next turn because of how that works. But alas, Diana does return to Arkham a turn before I'm ready for her to. Well, maybe actually that might not be as bad as I think it is. I can probably... Can I work around that? I might... Well, I ultimately have to. Unfortunately, I'm going to be going at that minus rerolls, which is going to be a bit of a problem. And then Monty just takes the first one off the top. Alright. Other. You find a $5 bill here on the $5 bill on the ground here with no possible explanation for its presence. Gain $5. Okay, so we're definitely swimming in money now, but here's where it could still potentially all go haywire on us. Because now we're about to move back up top for the Mythos phase. Things still have a very real potential to go belly up here, but let's see what happens in the Mythos phase. We find... This is a good start. Actually, this is a very helpful card to have right now. So Witch House doesn't get a gate because there's a seal on it. Clue goes to the Black Cave, so that brings the Black Cave up to 1 clue. Then we have Slash, Triangle, and Star moving on white, which we have none of. Star moving on black, or Hexagon moving on black. Unfortunately, the Dark Young is an immobile monster. So we have a new Mystic card coming into play, which loses us Chill of the Grave. And it now costs two fewer clue tokens to seal gates. So that means our seal cost is now down to 3. Which actually kind of helps us out, but I'm getting ahead of myself on how. But with that, let's move into a new Upkeep phase, hopefully our last one for this game, and Jenny will be our first player. Jenny gains $1 from her Trust Fund ability. Now she can actually get out of the cold. Question is, where do I want to send her? I think I'm going to send her to the Curiosity Shop just in case this turn goes completely belly up. So we're going to adjust her speed and sneak down to 2 and 2. I want to see if I can get an Elder Sign as a contingency plan. That will do it for Jenny. Now let's move over to Lily. I was doing a little bit of planning off camera. I was doing a little bit of looking off camera, and I had an idea. It's a bit of a risky one, but it could potentially make sure that Diana doesn't have to deal with that Dark Young on her turn. So we're actually going to start by adjusting her... We're actually going to use her first focus to adjust her lore and luck up to 3 and 2. Then we're going to cast Call the Azure Flame. So we're going to pay the sanity. We'll cast and exhaust that. Oop. I've got a couple of plans here for that, but let's go ahead and we'll do that. So her lore is now 3 minus 1 from the Call the Azure Flame is 2. I'm probably going to spend clues on this because I need this idea. For this idea to work, I need Lily to pass this. Which she does. She gets a 6. So perfect. That gives her Azure Flame back. Which means I can put my idea into motion. So we'll give that back to Lily. Now, where I'm going with this idea is I'm going to send Lily into the woods. This will get her pulled through the gate during the Arkham encounter phase, but I won't worry about that because if this plan works and this turn goes exactly how I want it to, the game will be over at that point. So the Azure Flame gives me +4 to combat checks. It's basically martial arts, but my 6s now count as 2 successes. And that gets me past the magical... That gets me past physical resistance. So hopefully that'll work out. If this doesn't work as a backup plan, I'll move Ruby Standish and the Staff of the Pharaoh both over to Diana. So yeah, that'll hopefully work there. But anyway, that will do it for Lily. Now let's move over to Monty. Here's Monty. Draining Blood Pact and draining him for 6 stamina to give him 6 power seems like a reasonable thing. I'm only bringing him to the brink of death, but I'm hoping this will be the end of the game right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's coming out of the split gate. That's a -3 gate. Actually -4 because of the lurker. So I'm going to push his fight up to 5 to make sure he's got at least a shot at it. But he does have grapple to fall back on, and I'm probably going to need that. So that will do it for Monty. Now let's move over to Diana. If Plan A goes completely belly up, Plan B is before Lily rolls her attack on the Dark Young, she's going to give Diana a couple of items that she'll need. So I'll try to sneak past it first. And then Plan C is Diana's going to try to fight it herself. But I'm getting ahead of myself on that. She's going to try to fight that Dark Young herself. But I'm hoping Lily can just take it out and render all of my preparations moot. But I am going to drain her Blood Pact for 1 stamina. Or for 1 stamina to give her 1 power. I'm going to keep this... Since it now costs me 3 clues to seal a gate rather than 5 previously... I'd rather keep the sanity for Shroud of Shadow in case everything that we're doing here just goes completely belly up. This way if it goes belly up, I've got rerolls. If it doesn't go belly up, I've got rerolls on the gate, which is going to be a -3 gate. On a related note, let's adjust her sliders a little bit to accommodate. Bring her speed and sneak to 2 and 2, lore and luck to 6 and 1, so they'll use her lore to try to close that gate. Anyway, that will do it for Diana. That will do it for the upkeep phase. Let's go into the movement phase and say hello first to Jenny. Jenny has been freezing over the last couple of turns, so I forgot to take away her stamina from being trapped outside again. So we'll bring that to 2 stamina. There we are. Got it. Okay, anyway. Jenny will move 1 to North Side Streets, 2 to the Curiosity Shop. I want to get an Elder. I want to try to get an Elder sign in case this goes completely belly up. But I'm hoping it won't. Anyway, that will do it for Jenny. Now it's time to see if Plan A works, and for that, we need to go say hello to Lily. Alright, we're over here with Lily at Ma's boarding house. She'll move 1 to Southside, 2 to Uptown streets, and then 3 into the woods. Before she does anything in terms of fighting, she's going to trade with Diana. Under pressure of fire, Lily's going to give Diana the Staff of the Pharaoh and Ruby Standish. That's the backup plan in case this goes completely bonkers. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get into Lily's combat with the Dark Young. We see that the will check is +0. She'll lose 3 stamina if she fails, or 1 if she passes because of Nightmarish 1. So Lily's will right now is 1, which means she gets a single die. I'm not going to spend clues on this because... I'd rather have the rerolls to try to kill it. Which I will lose 3 stamina on that. Ouch. But I kind of figured that was going to happen. And now we have the combat check. So Lily is 5, plus 4 is 9, minus 1 is 8, and 6s count for 2 successes. So 2, that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And remember, we need 3 successes and 6s count for 2. Wait, 5, 9, minus 1 is 8. Yep, okay, we're good. Alright, so once again, 6s count for 2 successes. To Diana's relief, and just barely, the Dark Young disintegrates. Goes to become part of Lily's Monster Trophy collection. Diana's in Arkham... well, once again, we'll do this out of order, but Diana is going to stay put at the woods. And we'll zoom out to catch Monty in shot. So he will move to another dimension, and he'll get an Explored token. That will do it for Monty. Diana technically would have been last, but she's staying put. That will do it for the movement phase. Now let's go into the Arkham Encounter phase, and we'll say hello first to Jenny. Jenny's preparing Plan C just in case everything doesn't... Is preparing Plan B in case all this doesn't work. So first card we find is a fetch stick. We don't need more weapons and she can't afford it anyway. So that's not going to be relevant. Alien device, +2 to combat checks. If we can't afford... If we don't find an Elder Sign, I might grab that. And Masquerade of Night. Yeah, no, we're going to just take the... We're going to take the alien device here, but hopefully the game's about to be over. So $5 for the alien device over to Jenny, which is +2. Which is +2 to combat checks, but it doesn't take a hand slot. So that's handy there. Anyway, that will do it for Jenny. Now let's move over to Lily. Lily is moving to the Abyss. Hopefully we won't have to do anything further than that with her, but that will do it for Lily. Now let's go up to Monty. Alright, Monty is looking at that split gate of Yuggoth and another dimension. That's a -3, effectively -4 gate because of the lurker at the threshold. So we get a single solitary die using his fight to try to close it, but we do have rerolls. So all we need is to roll this reasonably well. Actually, we need a success within about 4 rerolls. First reroll. Second reroll. Gets there. So it only took me 2 rerolls. which means that gate is closed. And we'll put a seal on the board. We'll also take all square and circle monsters off the board, which I don't think there are any. No, I think it's all moons. But that will move over to Monty. Next up, and what I hope will be the last turn of the game, will be Diana. We are not moving to Diana yet, not until I spend 3 power, aka clues, to get our 5th seal on the board. That will do it for Monty. Now we'll go down to Diana. Diana, you have no idea how tempting it would be to load the dice right now after this video. The best I can do is have you with 3 rerolls. Your lore's at a 6, minus 3 effectively because a -2 gate and -1 from the lurker is 3 dice. Please succeed at this, Diana. I don't want to have to deal with this thing again. Diana, Diana, Diana. Start with our first power. And get there with it. Thank goodness. Alright, so the gate is closed. We will spend the 3 clues. Look at that, 3 clues. And at long last, we have our 6th and final blue seal on the board. Wow, this will probably end up being my longest video yet. But with that musing, let's move back up top to wrap this video up. Six seals on the board. Independence Square, the Graveyard, the Witch House, the Unnameable, which had to be sealed twice because we had a gate burst there, the Unvisited Isle, and the game-ending seal at the Woods. Wow! That was a very long filming session, but anyway, that will do it for this playthrough of Arkham Horror 2nd Edition. Next week, we'll wrap up Christmas in Arkham with the last leg of the campaign as we play Elder Sign. Now, in terms of the score of the campaign, we've already won Christmas in Arkham 2-0. But in order to get the clean sweep, we're going to have to go up to Alaska. We're going to take on Ithaqua playing Elder Sign, Omens of Ice. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.